Alright, there we go. I think we're all set. Howdy, Xavier. Good to have you here. Wow, this is early. Yeah, I haven't been able to do any midday streams in a while, so I want to get back to it. Tired of doing streams around midnight. By the way, there are more lobsters at the Elac River and in the tunnel to the mausoleum that has the dancer lady. The tunnel? As in the underground tunnel? An Elac River. That's familiar. Is that down here? Yeah, this is the bridge. Okay, let's look from here then. I was gonna run around Morthen a little, but let's do this. Hey, Nobre, good to see you. I'm playing through the DLC again with my first ever character that's on several new game pluses. Well, good luck, Xavier. Good luck to you. I wanna reset this cave first. Yeah, it's the second step / waterfall down toward the Blue Coast area. I'm gonna have to look at that thing. Because like I said, that was my biggest curiosity, was if those things were, like, exclusive to, that one spot outside Castellensis. Turn around now. Nah. Oh, is he on the same cycle? I don't think he's on random like some of the others. Yeah, I think this is just how he cycles. In that case, something like this might be best. Something like that. There we go. It's the Parasite one? Ooh. Aren't those... Isn't the Parasite ones only seen on the western side of the Liurnia Lake, if I recall? I have to look at that again. It's been a while. Interesting. I forgot if there was major gameplay differences between the two. I don't know what the sound is. Am I crazy? Like, where's that noise coming from? It can't be these guys. They're only seen around one of the little statue buildings, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's on the west side of the lake. But it's been a while. Remember being close to the Godric, the Golden Scion mimic. There we go. Hey, Sneed, good to see you in the chat. How you doing? Yeah, I'm wondering if somehow, if the idea is that cave over here somehow connects to this complex all the way down here. We have the blood trail coming all the way from here, right? And this is deep underground, so it's possible. The problem is there's no sign of any, we don't got any sign of any type of, what's the word? Cave-in, you know? The Shattering is kind of a joke if you think about it. It's like a total of 4 battles, most of the world didn't even engage in. Yeah, yeah. Like, I remember seeing, Smo's video on Radon, and it's funny, because I don't remember much from that video, but the one thing that stuck out to me was when Smo was talking about, oh, and Radigan must have gone through, like, bunch of these battles going on before the whole thing. It's like, Smo, that's just you speculating. What we have evidence of, and what all the evidence points to, is that Radon was, like, in 2 battles. One at the second Battle of Lingdell, then he ran away to Caelid, where he got chased down by Melania, and lost there, so, like... Really, the Shattering is not this crazy epic war. Now, maybe Martin wrote it in a way where you could have imagined it as that thing, but at least the way that Miyazaki and crew expressed it. Like, we really don't see anything more than a handful of battles. Oh, so that's how you get all the way back here. Cool. Oh, Loki, do you know of a unique cut Erdtree symbol that's only in the art book? No, I do not. What type of cut Erdtree symbol? Are we talking about, like, incantation cut? Or, like, define cut for me. Mo, 1,000-year war. Thanks, Martin. I don't think he even mentioned that's a 1,000-year war. I like the little monument thing they got here, right? And they're like giving this guy like his baptism or consecration or some shit. This looks good. DS2 did a better job with the Giant War, which is wild because it suffers from not even showing us the destroyed capital. Yeah, DS2's Giant War suffers a lot of things, like, how the fuck did any of this work? Why don't we see more dead giants around, right? Like, there's a lot of problems with the Giant War, but I agree. At least they clearly convey the idea that it is a conflict that was happening all over Drangleic. Like, the giants were like, we're hitting you here, and then we're hitting you here, and then we're hitting you here, we're hitting you here. And, you know, Drangleic constantly on the back foot, right? But then you get to this war, with the Shattering, and it's like, it had a failed start with Godefroy, right? Like, the first defense of Lingdell. So it was one of those things where, like, it almost didn't happen. Morgott was so on top of his game that we almost didn't have the Shattering War. He's just like, nah, I'm stamping this shit out right here and now. Like, Morgott, like, Godefroy didn't even get to, like, the first wall. He just kind of died on way. Like, Morgott saw that shit coming. And then he goes over to Stormveil and clears the place out. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that he went with Godric, who ended up just being another snake, right? Like, if Morgott wasn't such a, what's the word? I would say people pleaser, but, you know, a peacemaker, you know, the deal maker, right? Like, he's constantly trying to make compromises, trying to make, you know, everybody happy so we can have, like, a nice orderly process, right? If he was just, like, you know, if he was actually, like, you know, in it for just himself and fighting for the power, he could have probably prevented all of this, honestly. Oh, wait, it's a cut tomb symbol? Oh, what do you mean by cut tomb symbol? Right. But yeah, then you go to, then you get to the actual shattering, and yeah, it's basically Godric and Radahn's failed assault on Lingdell, them running away, Miquella and Melania are kind of just fucking off or whatever, right, until, Miquella needs Radahn, so then Melania gets, you know, sent out there to go get her brother's hubby for him. I'm gonna get this on now. Really? Just little... Okay, sure. You have some conflicts on the way there. Godric's hiding inside his castle like a bee from Radahn, but then decides, you know what? I can take the weak woman. I'm totally stronger than her. Well, that went miserably for him. And then where we're at now. DS2 is also not open world, so there's more room for the imagination of what is out of the game's path. Yeah, there is. And that's part of the problem with DS2's world building, is that a lot of what they do doesn't really help you invite that imagination to believe, like, oh yeah, there's more than just this, right? Oftentimes it is like, no, it's just this and it sucks, right? But there's definitely, like I said before, like with Seldora, all they need to do with Seldora is, instead of making a giant mountain behind that one farmstead with the military camp, make it where it's like, there's like a plateau, and you can see like like the ruins or the beginning of ruins of another farmstead, and maybe like a slight, maybe a little bit more behind there in like the horizon distance, but with like a broken staircase or something. So you at least get the idea that there was like this, like, you know, like, I forget what they're called, but you know, in somewhere in Mesoamerica, I think it is, right? No, it was down in South America, right? With like the, you know what I mean, with like the steppe farmlands and stuff they have there. If they did something like that, and you just imagined that you couldn't reach that because of, you know, DS2's stupid you can't jump mechanics, at the very least, then you could have imagined, okay, yeah, that makes sense why there's so many peasants here, right? There's so many farmers here because there are a lot of other farms, it's just on the other side of the mountain that we don't see. That would do so much for just Seldora, right? And you can do that for a lot of areas. Just a little bit of tweaking. This is something where I think a Blue Point style remake to DS2 could actually benefit DS2's world building tremendously, because you could just redesign a lot of the areas outside the explorable space, so that way it's more cohesive as a whole. You know, like, let us actually see Drangleic Castle from, like, you know, Harvest Valley or something. Alright, we gotta go this way. Hey, Magus! How you doing? Is it okay to ask a question about Miquella? Might be a loaded question, lol. I mean, I guess it depends on the question, but sure. I mean, I got no problem with people asking me questions, unless I specifically say so. So thank you for asking. Sigil's gonna be a unique sigil for catacomb statues that shine the light, and it replaces the canopy with roots, more heavily emphasizing them. Oh! So it's still the Erdtree symbol, but not like the generic one we see. It was gonna be its own unique symbol. That actually might be worth mentioning. For areas where we're like, this predates the Crucible, but it's using the standard Erdtree cross, right? At the very least, you can make an idea of like, oh no, well they had an idea to make this separate originally, right? And then they kind of just went for the default. I say in Discord, cool, I can't wait to check it out. I haven't really kept up with the DLC lore discussion. Are the Hornsent their own race, or are they just humans who grew horns after researching Rao and the Crucible? They probably were originally humans, Sneed. The understanding is that the Hornsent are well, the Japanese is like Horn Man, right? You know, like many other races. So it's just a horn person, Horn Man. So the Hornmen are, called that because while they look human, they grow horns, which now we know for absolute certainty, horns, I guess this was kind of in the base game, but, you know, it doesn't really connect to Omen in the same way, but, the horns are apparently some manifestation or outgrowth of spirits. So the Hornsent, their culture, reveres spirituality, which more literally in Japanese means like a spirit, nature, or quality. It's kind of like how I talked about in my recent Twitter thread, not using the new name, that the divinity is referenced in the Japanese script, and that refers to a divine nature or quality, and that's what's used to refer to, say, the scorpion tail dagger from the ancient dynasty ruins in Lake of Rot, or the actual bud and stuff, like the rot in the actual rot and the rot that you find in the bud and stuff like that. All of that. I keep turning myself around. Like, I don't know how I keep doing this. Like, I'm actually kind of impressed I'm going in circles. I guess I just gotta keep going this way. I like the Erdtree depiction that make the roots look more important than the tree itself, like the Erdtree avatar staves. Yeah, I just like a lot of the designs and engravings and stuff they have for Elden Ring. I think a lot of, like, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite of all the games, right? I have to think on that one if it's like one or probably, I mean, let's be honest, Bloodborne probably wins, but like if I had to pick just between like, you know, the mainline, you know, medieval fantasy games, I think 1 or 3 would be the one I have to debate myself with. But, and I probably would lean to 1. But, in Elden Ring, I think the designs are still top-notch. I really like them. What's your stance on Miquella being abducted? I think Miquella planned it, given that Ansbach says Miquella needed Mohg's body to enter the Realm of Shadows. That was originally my thought, is I could have swore there was a dialogue that pretty much, had Ansbach admitting to it, but I couldn't find that dialogue. Like, it was a while back, I remember someone bringing it up, and I looked through the translation, and was like, oh yeah, this definitely looks like that. But I couldn't find it. No one could remember what I was talking about. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to go through probably Ansbach's dialogue one more time and make sure I'm not skipping or missing something. Going through the lists I have. But in terms of like where I stand right now, my personal thought is, yeah, it was probably a plan. I have problems with the idea. With what we know now, that Miquella somehow managed to have, like, so many things go wrong and yet perfectly fall into his lap. Like, I find it so convenient that as soon as Miquella sends out Malenia, like, Mohg is, like, right there ready to just, you know, pick him up. Like, God, like, man, how convenient that that's exactly when Mohg decided. Like, did he have spies, or did Miquella call him through dreams and use his charming magic? Well, to convince him. That's what I gotta, that's what's kind of got me hung up, really, is the timing of it all. I don't think he plans it, because he puts himself in the tree to save it, and it dies when he gets abducted. Well, that's the question. We know that the whole point of his plan with abandoning his body, going to the Realm of Shadow, bringing in Radahn, because apparently he's always wanted Radahn to be his consort or whatever, and he sent Malenia for that purpose. But how is he gonna get his consort out there if his consort is dead and doesn't have a body? So like a lot of the things that Miquella does doesn't make sense unless he already knew that stuff and he had already given up on the Halig Tree when he sent Malenia out. Like the Halig Tree, all the plans he had with it, all of that was donezo. Right? Yes, the Halig Tree died when he got taken out, but he had already given up on it. That's my understanding. Because otherwise I can't just rationalize just how everything's played out with him so far, and what he's been trying to do at every step. I think he just changes gears constantly because he's a stupid kid! Genius Miquella. Still a child. Damn, really? Yeah, he's cursed with being forever young. Yeah, that could affect him. It could be that even if he's a genius, he's still mentally immature. I mean, granted, I think his entire ideology is, you know, it's the Sunday method, you know? We're gonna have 7 Sundays. Every day will be Sunday. It'll be an endless procession of Sundays. It's like, my sweet baby, sweet little baby. You have not seen the world. You got the edgy teenager's outlook. Ah! I keep on fucking him. Ah! I'm never getting down here. I actually don't know if you can get down here. Actually, yeah, you probably can, because you could probably go up down the towers, right? Oh. You could probably go down the towers and then turn back. His gentle world plan sounds like a kid wishing for world peace. That's essentially what it is. Right? It's the classic C.S. Lewis. It's much like Made in Astraea, right? This classic idea of You know, if we're all just kind and peaceful, and there's no pain in the world and everything, it'd be perfect. Everyone would be happy. Everyone would be so fulfilled. They get to live out all their dreams. Ah! I can't do it. Okay, times 5 speed has killed me like half of these attempts. Lobster's right by the second waterfall. Gotcha. So I should be going down right. Yeah, right there. Okay. Also, I've been reading Thesis on Demon Souls, and it's been a great read. Thanks for all your hard work. No problem, man. I love Demon Souls. I love its lore. If it ever gets a sequel, I would be so happy. It's probably the game with the most sequel potential. Just gotta say that someone came in and awakened the old one again. You can come up with so many different premises from that. Where did the Nexus go in the meantime? You know? What are the kingdoms and lands? How far into the future is this, right? Like, there's just so much potential there for either a soft reboot or a direct sequel or, you know, all that jazz. Gosh. These people are gonna give me a heart attack. Woo! Doing this at times 5 speed. Woo! Oh well. We survived, that's all that matters. It still flies. Jeez, I wonder why. Where is it? Where's my fly village? That's. Am I crazy? No, fly village is over here. Okay, it's the other. Okay, for a second I was like, I wonder why the fly village ends up at the end of this. No, it's the other one though. Mixed it up. This one goes into nothing. Or actually, I think it technically goes all the way over to here, right? Yeah, there they are. I think normal is fine. They need to bring back the cut crocodile. I'll be honest, I would think it would be cool if they made crocodiles this type of thing where, you can run over them, but if you stay standing on them for too long, they'll knock you into the swamp water. So, like, kind of like a pathway. Like, imagine in Valley of Defilement, instead of you having to choose between going to the islands where there's the really dangerous enemies or wading through the poison swamp with all the jellyfish, you had an option where you could run through the islands, but instead of it being trudging through the swamp from island to island, there were the crocodiles, and you could run over the crocodiles like a bridge, but then, like, again, if you stop moving for any reason or whatever, the crocodiles will knock you off into the swamp and then start attacking you. I thought there were so many cool ideas they could do with a crocodile enemy. I'm very sad they did not do it, you know? It would have been super cool. Oh, that'd be a sick mechanic? Yeah, like something like that, so... And especially on like a game like Demon Souls where you're on foot, like, it could lead to some really cool traversal options and stuff. And, like, you get to live out, like, the James Bond fantasy of just jumping on, like, a bunch of crocodiles, you know? Yeah, this'll do. Or they got parasites for all the dead flyman upstream? That could be it. I guess the question is, what type of parasites are these exactly? I'm not familiar enough with parasites to know how, like, you know, crustaceans would normally get them, right? Is it from eating? Is it from just swimming around? Because this is downstream. So the assumption would have to be that any parasites that would come from upstream would naturally flow down here with either the food or, you know, by themselves. And that alone could justify it, I think. Now, where is this exactly? It's a little far from Castellensis. I could maybe see someone accidentally dumping one of these things off the bridge and it ends up kind of like going off in the wild or something, right? Versus like this thing. But I feel like it'd be more believable if it was, I don't know, like here or something. Or maybe in the swamp area down here. You know? When the flymen spit poison as yellow/golden worms. Oh, really? Then that could justify it, yeah. I was a bit disappointed about the flies not inflicting you with the worm bleed status from DS3. Yeah, with what you guys are telling me, that makes sense. Have little maggoty things. I like how DS3 is the only game where we can see another settlement or city-like place from distance aside from main city locales. Yeah, I like that. I wish the undead settlement itself gave you more options to, you know, imagine, like, how people would normally traverse through the town and stuff. Right? Like, there are a few areas like Undead Burg where you have some cutaways and stuff. I just would have liked a little bit more, personally. But yeah, just being able to see, like, the wider area and how it all connects, including locales you're never even going to explore, stuff like that is always nice. Huh. It's kind of a burial stuff down here, without anything really for it. Which one is this? Ah. Uh-huh. They look like roundworms, the parasites, I mean. Yeah, maybe. But I can see them recontextualizing that in this specific case with the worms that the flymen give off, you know? Which is why I think it could be relevant. No, I mean, like, from high wall view, there's a low poly village in the... Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Nobra. I'm just saying, I would have liked it, because the idea would be that you would get... It would be, like, a village that... From that village, you would go to the undead settlement, right? Like, you would take a road to travel there or something like that, and there'd probably be another road that would take you off to Irithyll instead. Or what have you. I would have liked it if we actually saw something like that. Now, granted, there's still the problem of... There's still the problem of, like, you know, like, what about Aldrich and his, you know, crew coming through here? Did they travel through the undead settlement on their way from the cathedral or whatever, right? This always goes back to my point of, it's better not to think about how people get where they are unless the game sort of invites that type of question. But it's one of those things I would have liked to see regardless. Also, the unexplorable city of Anor Londo. Yeah, like, that's nice, being able to have it where you're, like, you see this larger city. I would have liked if there was actually more, like, pathways, broken lifts, you know, something that could make you believe, okay, there's a way that you could get to there, from where we're at, right? Like, the painting gallery building for Ariamis, like, it's this giant, tall building, and yet, like, the entire facility is basically just the top floor. Like, why have such a big building, you know? Huh. Yeah, then this is all what we've already seen. Big lightning goat. Just a roly-poly boy doing his thing, living his best life. was wondering if Jagged Peak could have anything to do with this, but no, because there's also the lightning ones over here. I still think about the Profane Flame and how it's linked to the Abyss. I try not to think about the Profane Flame more than necessary. I barely have the brain power to get the concept, and I just don't want to overthink it from there, because I'm just like, it's gonna hurt. It hurts so much. Much like Untended Graves. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay. Okay. I know what we're doing here, but oh boy. You get the lightning perfume bottles here, by the way. Yeah, which makes sense. Right? Lightning with lightning. Yay! God, Mesmer, you had to burn this guy too, huh? And you're gonna get burned to death, and you're gonna get burned to death, and you're gonna get burned to death. Everyone's gonna burn to death! Yay! Alright. You're just an ordinary crab, right? Yeah, you just crab. And it's just a crab. I think you get it from a Hornsent corpse, like the Frenzy Flame one, and maybe the Frost one. Maybe they killed the perfumer, who was just kind of, you know, casually out in the wild and then got killed themselves after claiming it. That'd be the best justification I have if we take the corpses literally, you know? Loki, bro, if you had to define each from soft game in one phrase, what would it be? Except Elden Ring, because I think you haven't gotten everything out of it. Demon Souls, I would say, if I had to sum it up in a phrase, it would probably be something like... how do I say this? Even good people can be consumed... I'd have to think on that one, no break, because the way I'd want to word it, I'm like, that doesn't come out right. But I have to say something probably akin to, even good people can be overcome by evil, right? Oh, but what I mean by that is in the sense that sometimes you have the best intentions, but sometimes you have the worst methods, and sometimes you just exist within a context with which you feel compelled to commit evil anyway, right? It's just one of those things. Beautiful. So it's just one of those things where I want to think on how I could word that. This would be better. With Dark Souls 1, humans are corrupt, but they have the indomitable spirit to move on because of it, right? Dark Souls 2, don't stick your dick in darkness. Dark Souls 3, please, get please, get it the first time, let it die. Bloodborne, don't stick your dick in cosmic horror shit. Just don't deal with it. Don't do it. Don't have great one, kids. Don't become great ones. Just avoid it all. Don't you dare touch that thing with a 100-foot pole. DS2 truly the GOAT for real. Or some text saying the profane flame comes from the sky. Well, you could definitely derive it from the sky. You could derive all powers and elements from the sky, right? That's what astrologists in DS2 were doing, for example. Which again, if you read my book Abyssal Archive, at the end, I start kind of touching on the super deep lore reasons as to why. But my goodness, it's one of those things where if we ever get a Dark Souls 4, I hope they elaborate on it, because it's a very interesting untapped potential that the other games go in, but not this one. What's this? Huh. And you're a horn set. Huh. 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 I'll take a shot of you. Don't worry, I'll eventually find my way up. There we go. So there's some celestial connection between the abyss and the profane plane, between all elements. The simplest way I can phrase it for people is that in the context of Dark Souls, the sky is essentially a mirror of the terrestrial world. It directly reflects that, and in a strange sense, it acts as a portal to those same powers on this earth, right? It's very weird in the context of Dark Souls cosmology specifically, but the way it works is rather fascinating. Oh god, I'm not gonna be able to get down again, am I? No, oh, actually, no, I can do this. Really? Really? Bale has no words, no questions needed. You know what? You're right. What am I saying? He's got clearly a lot of spirits in him. He's filled with spirits. This is not how I was planning to do this. Oh, that's not working. Are you kidding me? That fall kills me. I swear, Rada Frada. Fine. This is gonna be so annoying going through this every goddamn time. There! Oh, also, we can look at the textures here. Yep, looks normal. But this one's the curiosity, right? Not seeing anything there. Only shows on the destroyed ones in Volcano Manor. Oh, I thought you guys meant the actual enemy destroyed ones. No, okay, okay. Darn. Well, we can always look at that too sometime, but darn. I thought it was the actual enemy was different. Also, Rad/America, I believe they were always a thing. Some curse from the fell god, perhaps. America eloped with the snake dev, Melina and Mesmer. No, I personally, I think Melina and Mesmer were just, again, I consider myself a neophyte when it comes to Elden Ring lore. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's... in a worse position than I was before. You know what, actually. Also, why the hell is it raining? Me wanting to get a shot of this goddamn shack. Loki, I've clarified this so many times. I misunderstood you so many times. But no, my position on America and Radagon is I think America and Radagon weren't always a thing. I think they came out later. But again, I'm totally, you know, you can move the needle with me on that one for sure. I just don't think any of the evidence really supports that. I think too much involving Ratigan and stuff points to him coming to be later. And as for Melina and Messmer, I think they're just Godfrey and Marika's kids at the moment. But again, I can move on that one too. I've seen people make at least viable, I think, cases for them to be Ratigan's kids. But I'd want to go through that and think on that one more. You know that Marika's father was a troll and his name was Frigga? No, I did not, I'm in. This is the first time hearing this. Alright, now we're separate from that guy, right? Woo! Still in range. It's strange that Messmer has a name starting with M and red hair, but isn't a son of Ratigan. I mean, we have Radahn, we have Rykard, we have Ranni. So I think the bigger question would be that he has, yeah, I think the bigger question would be, like, how many sons of Ratigan have that are, that do have an M. I think just Miquella. Actually, let's go through this now. We have Godwyn, Godefroy, Godric, Melina, Messmer, Ranni, Rykard, Radahn. I heard that Messmer at some point in development was Rykard. I don't know about that one. I don't know enough about the cut content stuff with Messmer that could go into that. But how did Messmer come about then? Red hair? Because he has the fire thing. I mean, Melina has more of, like, the pinkish kind of hair going for her, but it's definitely a bit... Yeah, I could definitely see it being, like, you know, because of her, like, black flames and all that stuff, could be something, similar. My position would be that, much like how we see, people who use the Fire Giant's fire get red hair, like, what's her name? Agranthi, whatever that name was. That would be where I stand on it. I think it's just a matter of Messmer's flames give him that red hair. Now, again... I could be convinced that it actually comes from Ratigan. Don't get me wrong. I could be convinced on this. But where I stand right now, I don't think so. I think he's just an ordinary demigod that was born between Marika and Godfrey. Because he was definitely born during that era. So, like, it's like, I don't know if it was you, Magus, but someone mentioned, like, you know, this idea of him, like, you know, her, like, eloping with someone else or whatever during her marriage to Godfrey. That would be the only justification you could make for them being born during that period, is that Marika cheats. The DLC barely has cut content. I never heard anything regarding Messmer. I think Rykard has red hair, but that's apparently up for debate. Yeah, I see people point out because of his portrait, but I'm like, that's a very stylized portrait. Like, I would not try to get hair color out of that portrait. Like, they're like, oh, he looks blonde here. I'm like, like, his entire face looks blonde. Like, it's, like, got, like, two colors that it's using, alternating between a darker and, like, a golden, lighter beige thing. So I don't think that really says anything about his hair. Granted, I think a good interpretation I've seen of his soldiers, though, is that unlike, like, say, Godric or Radahn, who use actual, like, you know, hairs for their helmet tails, you've got, what's the word? You got, like, feathers being used instead, and that's supposed to reflect that it's, you know, fake, right? Like, he's a peacock, you know, kind of. He wants to appear that way, but he's not really. He's not really red-headed. I think that's a cool idea. Yeah, I want to have higher LODs for this one. He also has a red cloth over his head in the portrait where he's wearing a mask. See, little stuff like that, I'm like, okay, maybe that could be a hint to something like that. But I think when you look at, like, the actual portrait that I've seen people cite, I'm like, I think that's the weakest evidence. Is Ratigan even mentioned in the DLC? Oh yeah, no, Bracery, yep, the cut, yeah, I was like, I think he's mentioned once in the cut, content. What's with the snake skin in Bonnie Village? I've thought about that recently, and I'm starting to wonder if that's supposed to be Messmer. Like, Messmer had an episode when he saw Bonnie Village. Because it's specifically by that statue of a Newman that looks like Marika's grandmama, right? The village elder. So I'm starting to wonder if obviously something happened to one of the Newman there, and I'm curious if Mesmer had an episode, and like the snake skin shed is supposed to reflect how like the wise serpents got him under control, and you know they shed the abyssal serpent skin and have it, you know, go back in its seal. Snake is devouring God Serpent model, not abyssal. Again, they're reusing the asset. It's the same skin that they use from the base game. I'm not expecting them to create a brand new snake skin just for that. Now, granted, could it be connected to the Rykard Serpent? Sure. I'm open to that. But after thinking about it so far, that's where I'm landing at the moment. I think this'll be fine. Something like this. We got our buddy here. Oh, what about Mesmer's original eye color? I think it would be like the serpent's eyes, dark red with slits. Doesn't he have like special eyes when he's like in his second phase or whatever? If it wasn't for this bush, I'd actually think I'd like this shot better. He has no eyes, Loki. No eyes during. Oh, right, because it's just the serpent stuff. Right. Yeah. You're right now, Bray. I remember now. He goes completely blind with the empty eye sockets. The eyes are all over the snake's end in its mouth. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Rykard snakes use elements with fire. What if Rad/Marika had an affair with God Serpent, the seduction, and gave birth to Mesmer? The seduction, if we're talking about the seduction mentioned in the trailer, no, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Because that seduction and stuff, it's been confirmed with like websites and Twitter posts and stuff. It specifically the seduction and betrayal are referring to the birth of the Erd Tree. And as I've talked about on the Twitters recently, I'm pretty sure that purely has to do with Marika's well, from what we see like in the trailer, like Marika cooperating with the Hornsent to become God and give birth to the Erd Tree, create her Golden Order, blah 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 blah, right? All of that jazz, which came on the back of sacrificing her own people. Oh, that's interesting. There we go, two different skies. But I'm saying that what if a pact with the snake was part of that ascension, and you think that, nope, that doesn't make sense to me still then. With Mesmer being a demigod and stuff like, yeah, you just can't get over with that with me. Mesmer is too much ingrained with the demigods, and the first demigods are quite explicitly, formed between Marika and Godfrey. Like, that's explicitly the lore we got there, so. Like, then you have to push back Godfrey and Marika having kids to before her having God and stuff, which again I've been open to before, but like now we're getting like way back on that where she's having kids with them, but she's also doing this weird pact thing involving Ratigan now, and with this like I don't think that's it at all. Like I said, I don't think Ratigan even emerges into the picture from what we see until at least the after the Glowmite Queen stuff. Not until after we have Melina betraying Mommy and getting killed by Malekith. Good old Uncle Malekith. We've already got shots of you before, I remember that. Hello? There we go. We do have evidence of Godfrey in Shadowkeep. I don't know about Godfrey being in Shadowkeep. We have evidence of Messmer and his forces during Godfrey's era being in Shadowkeep. But that's just Messmer overall. It's made very clear that Messmer and the Crusade take place during the Age of Plenty, before the Omen incident, obviously, and that finally heralded the last breaths of an already dying age. Oh, I mean the talisman. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we have the talisman stuff. Which, again, the talismans, granted some of them are the Crucible, like the Viridian and the Crimson and Cerulean talismans. Those are connected instead to Godwyn and his knights and stuff like that, which again makes sense, right? Like, Godwyn was very clearly born during the Age of Plenty. Base game established that pretty firmly. Oh, what the hell was that, buddy? Who decided that you were gonna die? It just mirrors the texture look a lot worse than I thought. Huh. I don't know, that doesn't look right to me. Take the picture of the hammer by an anvil, Loki? Sure. Got the gas stone here. We need good lighting, though. Damn. Are there no anvils in the light? Also, what the hell? Man, sucks to be you, huh, buddy? Unlucky bastard. Looks cartoony, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. It looks like, this is gonna sound weird for me to say, but it looks like looking at this back, it looks like an enemy in Borderlands. Yeah, it looks stylized cartoony. Like, it looks like that to me when I look at it from behind. So who was the Storm King, Siraj or the Stormhawk? Stormhawk. I cover that in my, was it Fringe Folk Rebellion? I think I covered in Fringe Folk Rebellion, yeah. I don't think it was an earlier article. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was under Altus Unification War. But anyway, but no, yeah. I land there very firmly on the, it's the Hawk. It's the Hawk. That's exactly what I thought. Exactly. No, for real. There's one in the room with the golem in the corner. Okay, then we'll have to go back there. Woo! There we go. I survived. We'll take a quick look at you, buddy. There we go. I wonder who caused the giant gashes in Stormveil then. Those are supposedly supposed to be Godwyn. That's supposed to be good old Death Pritz afflicting the place. He's causing all that with those weird holes and stuff. Granted, it's very obvious with the way that the assets are used and stuff that wasn't always the plan. It's very clear when you, like, compare, like, the thorns on, like, the Godwyn face. And what we see, of course, at the Godwyn main body and stuff, that wasn't always the idea. Still the lighting's not the best, unfortunately. These are exactly like the silver tiers. Well, yeah, of course they're using the slime model type thing, right? They might have a slightly different skeleton, but it's the same basic idea. Oh no, lava! The horrible. I love how Elden Ring makes lava just like a mild inconvenience. Like okay, the jumping height thing I can kind of get, but really, we can't even have dangerous ass lava. We went from Dark Souls 1 to this. I feel like I've got a shot of this, but you know, can never be too careful. Yeah, this'll do. In Dark Souls 3, you could block some lava damage. Yeah, some. It was still incredibly dangerous. Like, you couldn't spend more than a few seconds in there. In this one, it's like, oh, okay, sure. I'm just gonna casually stroll through the lava. Try to find my way out of here, you know? The bands on the hammer mirror the troll mirrors, so I ask you to take a photo of them. Yeah, that's why I want to get good lighting, Xavier, right? Because you've mentioned that, and I want to do a comparison. But it's kind of hard when everything's in shadow. Like, look, you have these nice bright areas sometimes. Oh, yeah! Here we go. This is it. This is it. Nice. Actual decent lighting. Can actually see what I'm looking at. Yeah, I swear, it looks like a Borderlands enemy. And then you got the front ear, and it looks so... Actually, you know what? In this lighting, even the face looks a little... It really is the apron. The apron makes the golem. I still am curious what civilization made these forges. You know? I wonder if concept art for this exists that we can look at. Because that might make it even clearer what exactly the idea is. It's definitely got a swirl to it. It's very painterly, for sure. No, I mean that you could use a shield to block the lava damage of the puddle below the last Black Knight. No, I know exactly what you mean. There's also the other puddle, which you could do the same thing, Sneed. I know exactly what you're talking about. But, like, that is still dangerous because when you stop blocking, you know. And at the very least, that requires you to have a shield with really good fire resistance. This... That took forever. I would have been killed in half the time if this was DS3. Summer enjoyers be like. What can I say? I love my summer heat. I don't. Yeah, this room is pretty plain. It sure ain't no shaded castle, that's for sure. Alright, down the chute. Hey, buddy. Oh, wait. I have a hut. Ah, beautiful. Get out of here, birds! You're in the way of my shop, birdies. It's time. Oh, try to miss my time of day here. I will. I most certainly will. Get out of here. Move. There we go. You two, you stay right there, you spring rabbit hair, whatever you are. This is good. Alright. We're locking our shot in place, and now we're playing with time of day. I like that for reasons completely unrelated to the Graves. Very shadowy. Oh, does it not mess with the skybox? No, it does not move the skybox stuff usually. I was on the sunset one. Yeah, no luck there. This one's not bad. Less shadows on the graves. This one I just like because of the background lighting. It's just because the background lighting. What's your take about the forge weapon said to be a god's armament? Given how the gods work in ER, I find it confusing. The ancient meteoric ore greatsword. I don't know either. I'll be honest. The fact that it's meteoric ore, but it's also an arrowhead, makes me think, okay, did the gods shoot arrows into the lands between? Is that what we're supposed to take with it? That when they're shooting meteors, it may not necessarily even actually be a meteor. It's actually just an arrow? Is that what we're supposed to take from that? I don't know. Or is it that the gods once had a civilization, but for some reason when they're hurling giant meteoric iron, it's in the form of, like, it confuses me for sure. Did I miss anybody's thing? No, okay, good. I think it was a giant's arrow, but the people who found it thought it was used by a god. But then why would the giants be making giant arrows made of meteoric iron then? That would be my next question. And why are these forges only here in the center of the lands between, in the realm of, now the realm of shadow, right? Like, those are the types of questions that I have to ask. And it confuses me at the moment, because I don't know when that arrow is supposed to be relevant. The light would tie it to Rao? Maybe. There definitely is a light and shadow thing going on in Hornsent culture, so. Could somehow tie all the way back. I guess we go this way? Yeah. Alrighty. Hey, buddy. Man, Rollo would be proud. Who's that? Oh, right. Maybe people thought the meteors were from the gods and used it to help build the Divine Tower since they were similar meteorite. Maybe. Maybe. Again, the question is ultimately who are the gods, right? And with how much, how liberally the term god or kami is used in this game. That's not an easy task to determine. Weird, but meteoric iron is tied to the beginning of metallurgy, and giants are very much connected to metallurgy. That could be the explanation then, like, especially if we go with, so... Let me... Yeah, there we go. There we go. So you got the fire giants chilling over here in Caelid. They decide, you know what, we're trying to contact our god, with our giant, things here. We're like, you know what? We need a higher peak. So we're gonna go cross Farum Azula. We'll take care of these wyverns, which we now know Farum Azula doesn't care. They're like, you want to deal with wyverns up on the mountaintops for us? Be our guest. Shove them off that peak. So they climb up. They take the summit from the wyverns and stuff, right? They build their forge, you know, build their little sky thing, like, oh, our fell god, yada yada yada, right? And they're doing their thing here, and they're creating, or they're either inventing, or at the very least, they're pioneering the metallurgy, which will be shared with wider humanity. But then somehow, over here, we're gonna get a bunch of lava forges. Which again, the question for me is also, where's the lava coming from? Because up until now, the only time we've seen lava is come from the serpent, right? The serpent god, he's or she has been producing fire and you know, by extension melting the rock to produce lava. But I don't know where lava here is coming from. It's in the forges where smithing is divine or whatever, like the giants. Yes, there's definitely this idea that that smithing is considered a divine type of act and stuff like that. Which again makes sense if it's working with materials from the gods, namely meteoric ore, iron ore, or whatever. Lava from their own flames. Do you think the forges are able to... But why would you... I'm trying to think. So they heat up rock to turn into lava, and then they filter that lava into their own forges? Why not just use the flames, then, if you're able to produce it yourself? Lava is just melted down corpses or something? Oh my god, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. Honestly, it wouldn't be crazy, because it would explain why we see so many dead bodies that are embered. Like, legit, I actually don't want to dismiss that out of hand, just because I'm like, you know, it would explain all those random corpses that are just, you know, embered for some reason. You get enough dead bodies together, and their heat just combusts and it melts the rock around them. That is so stupid, and yet I can totally believe it in this game. Alright, back at Morth, where we were at before, huh? Strange Darling in the Phoenix reference! You ain't wrong. Again, I will say I love how beautiful this game is. The skybox is absolutely to die for. Like, God, what a beautiful, like, yellow sky. This one we will use. Hi, LODs. Hello? There we go. I arrived! Hello, Banana Senpai. Banana. You know what? Because you've arrived, we're switching to Brain Rot, chat. Where is it? Where is it? Instead of this gothic horror ambiance, let's just make it Brain Rot. I could have swore the official HSR account posted this. I can't find, oh, no, wait, I think I did. I think lava has melted down giant god. Ooh. That's an interesting angle to take it, too. I wonder if the burning bodies are from Warriors / Tarnished. Man, you guys are throwing out some good ideas. I'd love to know which one's the true one. Let's see. Got that. Then we got the bears. This is where the bear boss is, right? Yeah. Psych! The formless mother was lava all along! Blood of the One Great. Jeez, when did this become a survive 1 hour brain rot challenge? There we go. Ah, perfect. Good. There we go. These are the Miranda you find at Altus. Yeah. Very nice. Put meme videos on screen for maximum dopamine. Loki, do you have access to cheat engine enabled? No, this is from, I got this off of, Patreon, by Otis_INF. He does a bunch of, modding, tools for various games, and he did one for Elden Ring, and it's the one that a bunch of content creators like Vati and Smotown recommended, because they use them for their videos. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just, you know, I don't like Patreon, but I'll bite the bullet, subscribe for 1 month, and then get his latest version. And probably gonna do that for Night Rain, too. My man deserves the money, I will say that. So please, if you plan to use a free cam in Elden Ring, go to him. Because this, I can promise you, it is so simple and easy to use, especially with a controller and stuff. Do you take music requests? No, Sneed. Loki, where the heck is the Subway Surfers 1x5 speed alongside it? There we go. Oh, you guys. Just be happy every day, chat. Living life without a stress. The brain rot is taking over, chat. I don't know if I can survive. This may be the last that you see of me. Did they bring Erdtree seeds here, or did they modify stuff from the Shadow Tree? Okay, so there's several options here. One, they picked up, or like, this tree could theoretically be a tree from a seed that ended up here naturally. Same with the one we find in Shadowkeep. I think that is possible. However, granted what we know about Marika at her Erdtree church, I think it's more likely that they brought the seeds over. And it was just something they would plant for decoration or experimentation or whatever. I'm coming down with a case of Scarlet Brain Rot. Oh no! I want the tense music used in YouTube Shorts for the AI voice narrating movie clips. Oh god, no. Oh, yeah. Blue feathers here. I'm still not 100% sure why we have Poison Swamp here specifically, right? So there's two ideas I have. We have them experimenting here, and they dump all the, the waste from their experiments out here. Oh, did my character keep moving even when I had the kit? Oopsie. That glitch happened. Was the enmity between Wyverns and Ancient Dragons hit at the main game? It makes a lot of sense for a lot of things in retrospect, so... And there is a bit of evidence that I would say, yeah, that probably does hint to it. Some of it you could go either way on, like with X-Ikes. But with, like, it's one of those moments, Steve, where when I was playing the game and I saw the items, it was confirmation, all that, I was like, oh my god, this, like, it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my god, like, everything falls into place, just, like, having that confirmed for me. Because there's just so much stuff that just didn't make sense to me, like, why it seemed like, what's-her-face, Greyol and the Wyvern seemed to have no factor into the Fringe Folk Rebellion. Like, tons of different little things where I'm just like, I just have to leave these as holes because I don't know what's going on here, and I don't want to make assumptions based on what we have. And then, like, I'm like, oh my god, they were never on the same side to begin with. That makes so much sense. So yeah, I would say it was definitely something you could have come to the conclusion of in the base game, especially when you look at, like, Farum Azula, and you have the Dragon Hunter, knight armor things you can get and stuff like that. And you obviously have Dragon Communion, which involves you eating dragons, which, again, makes the most sense in the context of, oh, we're totally, we want those dragons, slaughtered, massacred, feel free to eat their hearts. So I definitely think it's not an unreasonable statement that the DLC claims, There's ancient dragons in the communion churches by the altar acting as priestesses. Yeah, like, you got essentially, like, these, like, pastors of the churches, right? They're always ancient dragons, but Dragon Communion always involves wyverns and stuff like that. Like, there's definitely a bunch of stuff that, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I maybe could have come to that same conclusion if I did a deep dive on Farum Azula and ancient dragons and all that stuff for a thesis on the website. I might have been able to come up with that. But the fact that the DLC just tells me, it saves me so much trouble, and it's just such a... It makes so much stuff just fit together so naturally, and I don't have to go through all that trouble. I love it so much. Probably, that and Marika's Blessing are my favorite revelations in the entire game. The Marika's Blessing one, just for the memes, it's so funny to me. Like, I died laughing the moment I picked up that item. It would've been cool if you did it before the DLC came out. Yeah, but hindsight's 20/20, It would've been cool, but, like, here's the thing. Are there lots of things in these games that's cool if you figure out on your own? Yes. Sneed and I are witness to this personally. Right before Abyssal Archive was coming out, Sneed actually let me know about the character creator lore, because I had completely passed over the character creator, because I thought it was just the names of, like, hairstyles or races or whatever, and obviously little descriptions there. I didn't think stuff like hair had lore. Or faces had lore and stuff like that, right? So, like, when I learned that, and I saw stuff, I was like, oh, I read the Katarina face, they talked about them coming to the north, I'm like, oh my god, this lines up completely, exactly with what I was inferring about Katarina based on the lore in the actual game. And, like, what we know about the culture, the history, I was like, yeah, it has to be north bordering Lordran. And, like, that was a cool moment for me in Dark Souls 1. Right? Like, right before my book comes out, I have to do all these edits because I got new lore that's, like, really useful and wonderful. But, like, is that a cool moment? Yes. That you had it where you figured it all out before the game told you. But, like, I'd much rather have it where the game just tells me so we can skip over that and I can focus on analyzing the more important stuff. Right? What's up with Marika's Blessing? It's a reference to Divine Blessing from Dark Souls, from Dark Souls. And I just completely broke down, like, upon seeing that. Off topic, but what do you think about the giant ravine halting Messmer's progress with the Hornsent destroying their bridges, all the refugees gathering in Belorat? Overcrowding it and accidentally poisoning the water, creating the fly sickness, something like that happened in ancient Greece, I think. It could explain why the people who cared for the sick are immune, because they, oh, 1 second, I forgot about the poison. Let's, yeah, whatever. Okay, so back to it. It could explain why the people who cared about the sick were immune, because they cared about them outside Belorat and not drinking the water there. I don't know what is causing the fly sickness, and I don't want to believe it's just there's poison in the water, and suddenly it turns a bunch of horn people into flies. I'm not ready to go there. I feel like something else has to be going on, either with the horn scent themselves or whatever causes the sickness. Yeah, but many things are parallels. It's just that, yeah, it's just a parallel. Like, it's again, there's a lot of moments in these games where, like, it's very obvious they do something where they're making a blatant reference to something else, especially with America's Blessing, because, like, it's literally just Guinevere's vessel for her blessings that's been, like, recolored. Like, it's... They didn't even try to, like, change up the design or anything, right? It's just one of those things where the moment I saw that, I just absolutely had like a fit. It was so funny to me, just seeing that, because I just knew exactly what they were doing there, and it was just. Did Vike rail Landsax on her full dragon form or her human dragon hybrid form? I think it was the hybrid form. I don't think you go full dragon when you want to rail them. They cast flies, and they can buff them, increase their damage, and heals them over time. The people who care for the sick infected them in the first... Oh, so you think it's the people who were immune were the ones who caused the sickness. Interesting. The nature of the sickness is very weird, but I'm confident it's tied to the water, and Belarus is yellow, ends up in a poison swamp, and all the flies are gathered around it. Maybe. But again, we don't have flies here in this area here, where there's a lot of poisonous stuff, too, right? So, I don't know. I have to think about that one. But as I was saying earlier, I'm like, could it be waste product from there? Could it be waste product from here? That they just dumped it over the ledge and let all the poison accumulate here? I don't know. I don't think it's bodies, because we don't see any actual physical bodies here. We just have the graves, which, you know, graves, they they clearly predated any of this with Mesmer's Crusade. It's definitely not spillover from the ravine into here, right? That's separate, right? Alright, enough brain rot. I'm done. I've hit my limit. I've hit my limit. We've had our brain rot for the day. Banana Senpai, I did that for you. How'd you beat Radon? With cheese. If I want to make Drang Lake more lively with some small houses on near distant mountains here or there, just place them in Majula, because there's so much it lacks the other in-game areas. Yeah, I would just put them in Majula. I don't think you need to put houses in the distance in Drang Lake, because Drang Lake's supposed to be like so much bigger than even like the lands between and stuff. So you don't really need to see the actual like other houses and stuff. Just major landmarks that you know, like if I can see from the Forest of Fallen Giants, Drang Lake Castle, I should be able to see it from Harvest Valley, which is about equidistant, right? That would be the stuff I would focus on, is making it where you can kind of see like low poly versions of other areas, you know, like you said earlier, Nobre, the Dark Souls 3 moment where you can see all those areas, including like a small village there. If you want to include villages or towns or something like in the distance in like those vague areas, in those moments, then sure, go right ahead. I think that would make sense. It would still be conducive with the lore. He used Fingerprint Shield and Anspur Rapier. I used Mimic Tear and a Claymore on my first playthrough. I have a better explanation. Dead people pope themselves, so it's from the... Okay, sure, whatever that means. Whatever that means, man. Kegare, I just Kegare. I'm sure that's what Acer would want to say. I managed to include cops in Majula. That's cool. I found that OG Selin is wearing a different broken crown than Selin the puppet, the one you can wear, but I'm able to find the item name in Cheat Engine. Has anyone seen it or used it? Nope, I am not familiar with that whatsoever. Oh, poop. I see, poop. So you think it's the poop that's causing all the poison? Yeah, maybe. I mean, poop, rotting corpses, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can cause a poisonous swamp in these games. I use Big Anchor in a pirate build. Yar, me hearty! I'm going to be me Elden Lord! Mikola was like, I will not let a vile ruffian become a lord. Xavier, you mentioned that there were scorpions also another area we missed. Ooh. Ooh. I've been looking for you, buddy. Also, I'm gonna say this right now. I hate the fact that for some reason I now am moving when I'm, Oh my god. Ah! Turn around, asshole! I don't need to see your butt, porker. Oh. Maybe. No. I hate it. Stop clipping, asshole! Ah. Alright, that'll do. Oh my god, buddy, get off the rock! What? Oh, did you not mention that, Xavier? I thought maybe it was just the crustaceans, but I could have swore you also mentioned the spider scorpions. He looks like he's just about to sing a song about how great being in need is. Oh, 1 second, I got a call, chat. Alright, something big popped up for me, chat, so we're gonna be wrapping things up here after this. After we get Porky here. Oh, I think I managed to make Castle visible in the Harvest Valley. Cool. I want a book that's just a bestiary about all the animals and lands between, even stuff that is in the game. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, Elden Ring is the time, I think, where they could really, like, I've said it before, I think they should totally, post, Martin's notes and stuff for, you know, everything he wrote for this lore. I think this is the game where it's not just Miyazaki, it's also Martin, where you can, you know, play around with guides and stuff that actually, like, tell you the lore directly. Maybe Miyazaki wants to give it a few more years, but I think he really should do it. Especially if he's gonna brag about how amazing Martin's lore is, you know? Just getting different, maybe? He's just gonna hold over our heads. Man, this writing by Martin is just so damn good. I want to share it, but I've been to be spoiling the lore. The lore. Poor Miyazaki. Caught between his dedication to being an auteur and his desire to fanboy. Can I get back there? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so hard to get. There we go. Alright. Alright, there we go. I think it's gonna be it, chat. Oh, just check for the ancient Greek sickness thing. Yes, it happened in the Peloponnesian War with refugees gathering in Athens with a plague killing 1/4 of citizens. Pericles died due to it. Oh, cool. They should just publish what Martin wrote, LOL. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. By the way, the threads are great. I would have liked to see you clarify the translation of Romina's remembrance, though. I did, though, Xavier. That was literally the second to last post I did. That was me clarifying. Oh no, that's actually no. That was the incantation, right? The remembrance. I don't remember what the remembrance said actually. Yeah, that was the butterflies. Yeah. I'll add an addendum. I'll do an addendum. Let me open this thing real quick before. Like I said, I have to go like very shortly, chat. So. Let me open this up. So I get for deleting the Romina thing as soon as I was done. People think the remembrance says she changed the Scarlet Rot itself. I did. Is that the discovering one that she discovered the rot or whatever in it? Because I could have swore that I did talk about that earlier. But yeah, I can clarify more on that if you want. Let me, Romina. Incantation, Saint of the Bud. Where's that remembrance? Ah, here it is. So, what does the English say? Perhaps then the buds might find somewhere to gain purchase once more within the scorched remains. Yeah, and the Japanese is more like, you know, at the church where all was burned, Romina discovered a grotesque divinity, as I said earlier in the stream, and clung to the ominous scarlet decay, so that another bud sprouts in the ruins. Okay, yeah. The buds might find somewhere to gain purchase once more within the scorched remains. So people have misinterpreted that, huh? She discovered a twisted divine element which she weaved into the baleful scarlet rot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see how people misinterpret that. Yeah, it's the main confusion I see about her. She weaved into the scarlet rot or something. Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay, I'll add that to the post. As like a special addendum since I got asked. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that right now before I go. Okay, but we do have to finish things up today, okay? See you later, everybody. Wonderful having you. Great having a chat. I'm gonna try to do more midday streams. It's super hard with how things have been lately for me, because I get wrapped up, especially when it comes to my free time, on doing, you know, these Elden Ring and Dark Souls stuff and things like that, because I'm like, you know, let me just squeeze in a little bit more, you know? Oh, hey, Silliest Goober, you came just in time for me to end the stream. Anyway, but, yeah, so, like, I try. I'm gonna try to stick to the midday, though, more often, so that way, you know, more of you guys can show up, because I know, like, late night streams, you know, only a certain type of people are awake during that time. Wait, before you go, what does the title mean? I just got here. It's a reference. What was the title? I actually don't remember what my title of my stream is anymore. Inside You Are Tuesday. It's just a reference to Mesmer. It's just me being cheeky. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye!